Hello, my name is Noah Arroyo, and welcome to my technology assignment for Sped 501. The assignment is an instructional video that models and explains two instructional strategies. The first instructional strategy is called discrete trial training, which falls under ABA, or Applied Behavior Analysis. ABA attempts to modify behaviors through consequence. When using discrete trial training, there's typically 5 components that make up an entire discrete trial. The first would be the antecedent, which typically involves the teacher placing 2 flashcards or some type of thing the student is going to identify on the table. The second aspect is a prompt, and that's if the student is inattentive or responsive, the teacher may make a gestural prompt, or if the student is responding, they can complete it independently and wouldn't need a prompt there. The third area is the student response. So this is where the student either points or hands the item or flashcard to the teacher. The fourth component is the consequence. And so it's either going to be a consequence for a correct response, which would be verbal praise or a high five, or a consequence for a wrong response, would be no reaction, no response, or a correction procedure. And then the last component is the intertrial interval, in which you wait like 5 seconds so the student has a moment to reset before you start the next trial. So now I'm going to demonstrate how to do discrete trial training with a student using community signed flashcards. Can you point to men, please? Good job, thanks. Positive reinforcement right after correct response, and an intertrial interval. Can you point to women, please? No, that's wrong. Consequence for incorrect response. This will model a correction procedure. Can you show me fire extinguisher? No, fire extinguisher. Good job. Can you show me crosswalk? Good job. The next instructional strategy is social stories, and there are several components that go into the development and implementation of a social story. First, you need to identify the social situation for the intervention. So what is it exactly that's going wrong with the student during a particular time in his day? The second step is to define the target behavior or skill. What do you want the student to do in that situation? You have to clearly know and have it defined and measurable so that the student knows what to engage in that social situation. The third is to collect some data and just on the frequency and really as to the function of the behavior. Why is that student doing it? The next step would be actually write the social story. And when you're writing the social story, you should be careful to consider appropriate length for the learner. If they're not a strong reader, you wouldn't want to pack it with sentences. You would want to simplify it a little bit. And also it's important to include photos, pictures, or some type of visual representation to accompany the story. And next is the implementation of the social story, which should be implemented as part of the learner's regularly daily schedule. And now how this could be is during the student's academics time, the student could read the social story. Also, the teacher or paraprofessional can read the social story to the learner. Another important aspect to consider is that priming the student with the social story right before they may engage in that social situation is another way to use the social story. So if you know the student is about to transition to recess and the student has problems transitioning to recess, it might be a perfect time to read a social story about transitioning to recess. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to develop a social story for a particular student exhibiting problem behavior. The student in question is running and pushing in class. Walk, please, walk. Please walk, walk. After examining behavior data, it appears the student is pushing to gain access to the restroom or to preferred items in the classroom. The social story should be implemented as part of the student's daily schedule, in this case, during the student's academic time. All right, it's time for academics, so can you please read your social story?
When I want to splash water on my face, I can use my iPad to tell the teachers, wash my face, or restroom. When I want my teacher's attention, I can say hi.
If the student appears inattentive or unable to read, the teacher could also read the social story to the student. It's time for academics. I'm going to read a social story to you. I am a fun and smart young man. Sometimes I do things really fast and I forget to tell my teachers. When I don't tell my teacher what I'm doing, they worry about my safety. They are confused. They are upset that I'm not following directions. This takes time and attention from my classmates. I can use my words or iPad to communicate with my teachers and peers. These two strategies can be very useful when implemented in the classroom for students with moderate to severe disabilities. I hope you enjoyed my Sped 501 technology assignment. Thank you.